And welcome to councillors and members online as well as members of the public viewing proceedings. I'm pleased to confirm that the live stream of proceedings is operating correctly. So I'll now just briefly check everyone present can see and hear us okay. So firstly, Councillor Marrett.
All fine, Michael. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you. Councillor Mumby.
Fine, thanks.
Excellent. Councillor Prince.
All fine, thank you.
Councillor Simic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Small. Councillor Thompson.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Kemp.
I can hear and see everything, but you can't see me because the camera isn't working properly.
Noted.
Your advantage.
Noted. Thank you. Councillor Morris.
Yes, here. Thanks, Michael. See everything.
Thank you. Councillor Kelly. No. Councillor Howard.
Yes, fine, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor O'Brien. No. Councillor Rush.
I'm here.
Excellent. Thank you. Councillor Shaw.
Yes, present. Hello.
Thank you. Councillor Norbury.
Yes, all present. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Musprat.
Can I just give apologies for Councillor Musprat? She can't make it this morning. There's some roadworks in her road. It's cut off her internet, so apologies.
Noted. I'll record those in a minute. Thank you. Councillor Whittingham. No. Councillor Hayes. Councillor Hayes is present, so we will pick up on his presence later on. Councillor Williams.
All present, working correctly, thanks.
Thank you. And Councillor Brame.
Yes, all fine for me, thank you.
Excellent, thank you. I'll now revert to the chair and thank you, colleagues, for your patience and understanding.
Thank you. Just go off script a second. I was at a meeting the other day, a live stream meeting, and somebody made a very good point that members of the public and indeed members of committee may be lip reading. So if people don't have the cameras halfway down the face, if it's unavoidable, it can't be. That's fair enough. But if you can you show your lips so that people who are lip reading can read? I'd like to remind members and officers to leave your microphones on mute during the meeting until you want to comment. In addition, can officers also turn off their webcams unless you are addressing the committee? Once a member has spoken, please ensure to mute your audio. To mute your mic again so audio remains clear. When members or officers do wish to speak, you can either use the hand up feature by attracting my attention on the screen. If you do not have the hand up feature, please indicate visibly on screen the attention of the chair and committee clerk. If you do use the hands up facility, please cancel it once you finish speaking. Thank you very much. Join them in the meeting.
Yeah, it's the airport. I'm trying to get into it, Nick. I can't get in.
Okay, John. I'll leave your apologies.
Yeah, I'll keep trying. All right, mate.
Okay, see you, John.
Okay, cheers.
Okay. When I do bring you in, please unmute your mic and say your name and allow a brief pause while we ensure that you are visible on screen. Once you've spoken, please make sure to lower your hand also. Can I invite members and officers present to declare any pecuniary and/or significant prejudicial interests in the business on the agenda? If the latter, you need to leave the room when that item of business is considered. Minutes of the last meeting. Can I refer members to the minutes of the last meeting as held on the 14th of January 2021, as set out on pages 7 to 15 of the supplementary agenda? Do members have any questions or comments?
Chair, if I may make a brief comment in relation to the attendance list. Councillor Mungby's incorrectly reported as absence, pulled across an automated system under the wrong field. That'll be corrected on the online version immediately. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mike, John Kelly's just rang to say he's trying to get in. We might not be able to make it.
Thank you, Chair. If possible, I might make contact with Councillor Kelly as proceedings go on. I'll try and assist him if necessary.
Okay, great. Quarterly report, October to December 2020. Can I refer members to pages 1 to 6 of the agenda pack, which comprise the quarterly report for the period October to December 2020? Can I invite Michaela Douglas, Chief Port Health Officer, to introduce the report? Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members and officers.
Good morning, Michaela.
First of all, my apologies, because similar to Councillor Kemp, I'm also experiencing camera issues with my corporate laptop, but hopefully it will be rectified when I'm back in the office on Monday. I will endeavour to speak very clearly and slowly, though, for those that are listening. So to commence my report, as Chair has already advised you, the purpose of my report is to advise members of the current enforcement work, projects, training and promotional work that's been undertaken by the authority from the 1st of October to the 31st of December 2020. So I would first of all bring members to the attention of the revenue generated information in the first table. Members will note that Q3 revenue is slightly lower than the generated revenue of Q4, but this is consistent with the Q3 period of the previous year as well. So the slight dip in revenue is consistent annually for the authority. Main impact to the generated revenue is a result of the COVID easement adaptations. In particular, members will note the sort of slight reduction in revenue that's generated from ship sanitations. And this is because of the easement adaptation that has been put in place at the moment as a result of the COVID pandemic, whereby a flat rate is incurred on vessels because we are undertaking predominantly electronic certification, sanitation checks of those vessels. So it is a flat rate fee that's currently being charged as opposed to a fee that will be based on the gross tonnage of the vessel. And so that has had a slight impact on the revenue that was generated during that Q3 period. In relation to the other official controls, there are tables there detailing the number of consignments that were subject to identity or full checks by the authority, as well as some information on the imported food queries. In regards to the official checks on food products, members will also notice that there has been an increase of foods of non-animal origin products over the Q3 period in comparison to Q2. And also the service also received an increase in imported food-related queries, which was a substantial increase in comparison to the Q3 period of the previous financial year. There's also details then in the next table of samples that were taken over that period. So a total of 52 samples were undertaken, with all samples receiving a satisfactory analysis result. And details of those sampled products are listed in Annex 1 to the report. Next table details information in relation to rejected consignments and then the reasons why they were rejected. And during the Q3 period, we had no consignments that were referred to inland enforcement. The authority still continues to strategically prepare the Port Health Service for the impact of the workload associated with the introduction of checks in relation to checks that are required on EU products. And during the Q3 period, the authority successfully secured a grant fund from central government totalling 472,456, if my memory serves me correctly. And I did detail that in a separate report at the last committee meeting. As I advised members previously, the funding will predominantly be utilised towards the recruitment of additional staff and resources that will be required to undertake the work that's associated with undertaking the checks on EU products, as well as any other associated recruitment costs that are incurred as a result of increasing the additional staff and resources, as well as additional IT requirements. In regards to international health regulations, the table there details, and I must apologise, I have noticed a spelling mistake there. It says CHIP instead of ship sanitation visits. So there's information there of ship sanitation visits that were undertaken and those that were issued an electronic certificate. Just bring members to the attention that while I have said that we will apply easement measures in relation to the COVID pandemic, if vessels highlight a need for a physical inspection, officers will still undertake board the vessel and undertake the inspection, and that's the reason why we have a number of 11 there, where officers would have processed the documents and felt a need from a public health perspective to board the vessel. And so that's why we've still actually undertaken physical inspections as well as issue an electronic certification. In relation to international health regulations, the authority is still undertaking enhanced surveillance checks, which requires us to undertake 100% documentation checks of all vessels that arrive at the port. And during the Q3 period, the implementation of these measures as a result of the COVID pandemic, it has significantly increased the workload because of those enhanced measures. And members will also note that this is indicative in the number of ship sanitation arrival submissions that were received by the authority. We actually actioned 1,553 ship sanitation arrival submissions, which is a substantial increase in comparison to Q3 of the previous financial year, whereby officers only actioned 681. And then finally, I would just bring members to the point of the key issues moving forward. So the key issues for the service moving forward over Q4 will predominantly focus on COVID-19 pandemic response and recovery of the service as we move towards moving out of the lockdown situation and how we reinstate the service back to an element of normality. And obviously, one of the key things as well would be to focus on Brexit-related matters, post-Brexit issues, primarily the recruitment and training of additional staff, and also amending internal work processes and procedures to deal with the workload that's associated with the introduction of the new EU checks. So, Chair, that concludes my quarterly report. Thank you, everyone.
Chair, you're on mute, please.
Do members have any questions?
None appear to be indicated, Chair. If members are struggling with the hands up facility, please raise them now. Councillor Thompson has now, I believe, Chair.
Councillor Thompson. Hi.
Thank you. It's not directly related to the report, but it occurs to me as if you don't have enough to do in coping with pandemic response and recovery and preparation for the end of the EU transition. It was announced recently that Liverpool's to become a free port. I just wondered what the implications of that are for you.
Thank you, Councillor. For a free port is more relating to HMRC and taxes on products that transit through the port. I suppose from a port health perspective, yes, there is a potential of increase in workload once again, because you would anticipate that with it being a free port and the amenities that will be provided in terms of as I said, a reduction in possible HMRC taxes that can be incurred on imported products, then that would hopefully encourage more products through the port of Liverpool. So yes, it could have a potential impact again on the workload of port health if the increase in the products that come through the port are associated with food and then are therefore subject to public health checks by the port. There's also the potential of an increase in number of vessels arriving through the port, which then would also be subject to public health checks by Port Health. I guess only time will tell how that increase will ultimately have an impact on the service, and it's something that I will monitor over a period of time and most certainly report back to the committee in the quarterly reports.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Did Councillor Kemp wish to speak? No.
No, if I've got my hand up, it's by mistake. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Can I ask, or make a comment really? Liverpool's getting a free port. Where? It's in Sefton, isn't it? Liverpool's port. We don't want a free port at all in Sefton. We've got enough problems with the existing port, never mind having a free port as well. So just thought I'd like that. Lay that on the table.
Can I just add to that, Mike?
Yeah.
The government's announcement of the free port in Liverpool is for the whole of the Liverpool city region, so that would include Birkenhead and Garston as well.
Fair enough, but that's generally only oil shipments and containers from Belfast, isn't it? Really. Anyway, I just wanted to put it on the table. Are there any more questions for Michaela? Oh, Councillor Marat.
Thank you, Chair. Michaela, at the last meeting that we had and previous meetings, you've always said that there would be a recruitment drive because you needed more staff. Has this started yet? And are you likely to get the staff that you need? Because you said they have to have, it was like a specialised staff to start with. They have to have certain qualifications. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, I have started the recruitment drive. In fact, I've concluded the recruitment drive. So, yes, it was a large recruitment drive that we had for a number of weeks, advertising various skill sets that were required within the team. Just a brief update, and I also provide a more detailed update at the next quarterly meeting because it falls within that period. But verbally, I can advise members that we had around 119 applicants from, I can't just say nationwide, it was actually internationally wide in terms of the applicants that we received. We had applicants for some posts from as far as South Africa, a number of European countries applying for different posts that were advertised. And as a result, I ended up undertaking approximately around about 45 interviews of candidates for the post, and we have managed to fill 20 of the 24 vacancies, with the first cohort of staff due to commence work on Monday. So I'll be attending work on Monday and carrying out an induction training for those staff. So the next few months will most certainly be very challenging for the service, not just because of the introduction of the proposed checks on EU products as of the 1st of April, but the fact that we will need to train 20 staff, which completely outnumber from a ratio of on average 1 to 2 of the trained staff within the team, but also trying to undertake the training in such unique circumstances due to COVID restrictions. So it's very, very challenging at the moment for the team on how we undertake the training to ensure that those members of staff achieve the required competencies, not by the introduction of the checks in April, because that's unachievable, but at least by the time July occurs for the full SPS checks that we will have those staff trained. So very, very busy and demanding time at the moment for the service.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Councillor Marrett, can you put your hand down, please? Right. Thank you, Michaela, for an excellent report and well done on the recruitment drive. Can we note this report, members? And is that agreed?
Chair, I believe we may have one further indications from members. Just if you could do a further check, just in case.
Who? Can't see. Oh, Christine, Councillor Howard.
Thanks, Chair. Just following on from Councillor Marrett's question, I know we've spoken plenty of times in this committee about the ongoing resource and recruitment issues that there've been for the authority, but this latest recruitment drive seems to have attracted lots and lots of candidates, and you've managed to fill a lot of those posts. I was just wondering if you've got any thoughts, Michaela, on what the differences have been with between this recruitment drive and previous recruitment drives.
Hello, thank you, Councillor Howard. I really don't know, because we never really I mean, yes, we had new advertisements in terms of the articles, which I hope the way we worded it attracted people, but I was very concerned that because we offered fixed term contracts for these particular posts, that would be a deterrent and people maybe would be put off because some of the fixed term contracts are 6 months. But yet we still had, a very high number of people applying for the posts. I guess maybe because people are aware of the changes that are going to occur because of the EU, because of what occurred with the EU transition, and the demand for the skills of Port Health. And we did include that in the article, that obviously it was associated with Brexit-related work. So because that's had a lot of media attention, maybe people were more aware that, oh yeah, this looks like, this future in this particular job role, and that's maybe why we attracted people. I mean, from that perspective, the biggest concern that I had was obviously the Port Health officers. It's always been a struggle to attain the skills of the Port Health officers, and I most certainly thought that we would struggle even more because that particular skill set is in high demand because of the COVID pandemic and the need for environmental health officers to undertake contact tracing. But yeah, we managed to secure and fill all 4 posts for the Port Health officers. So, and one of them actually currently resides in Ireland. So, and one outside Liverpool City Council region. So they've got to relocate. So, we did attract candidates, as I said, not just internationally from a Port Health officer perspective, nationally, but also internationally. We had a number of candidates from some of the European countries. We had a number of candidates from South African region. And so it kind of went further afield. It also could be to the benefit of how Liverpool City Council undertook the recruitment process, in that they undertook a lot of the advertisement, not just on the website, but they also targeted social media, LinkedIn. And so maybe that had a further reach than maybe previous advertisements. So, to be honest, it maybe credit as well to Liverpool City Council HR section in terms of how they advertised the job posts as well. But a very successful recruitment programme nonetheless. Thank you.
Thanks, Michaela.
Thank you. Any more questions from Michaela? No. Can we note the report? Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed, yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you, members. Now we move on to the schedule of dates for 2021 to 2022. Can I advise members that the proposed dates for meetings of this year during the 2021-2022 municipal year are as follows. Thursday, the 15th of July 2021 at 11 a.m. That's the annual general meeting, and that's to be held at Liverpool Town Hall. Thursday, the 14th of October at 11 a.m, also to be held at Liverpool Town Hall, I presume. Thursday, the 13th of January 2022, 11 a.m. at Wirral. On Thursday, the 10th of March 2022 at 11 a.m. at Bootle Town Hall in Sefton. That concludes the business for this meeting. Thank you very much for attending.
Thanks, Chair.